No, I'm good. Thank you so much. Great job. Okay. Excellent, excellent. Listen, thanks so much for the opportunity to be in front of you here today. And thanks so much to Juan for putting this on, right? Give him a round of applause because without him, we wouldn't be here today, right? And just a little bit about me because I know every single person is probably thinking, who the hell is this guy and why is he on the stage, right? My name is Mike Schill. I'm CEO of the Full Circle Agency, Miami's fastest growing marketing and advertising firm. We have partnerships with massive organizations such as eBay, Lines Not Cheap, Amazing Lash Studios, freestanding medical facilities across the United States and throughout the world. And it humbled at the opportunity to be able to say I am the CEO of that. But the reason as to why we have been able to get that traction is due to the fact of the topic that I'm about to present to you here today. And that is sales. And sales is the lifeline and the blood of any single organization. And the reason why I'm on this stage also, at least I believe, is because of the experience that I had as it relates to sales, right? Rewind about 5, 6, 7 years, I had the opportunity to work alongside a gentleman by the name of Grant Cardone, was alongside him for about 5 years, saw that company grow to, exponentially. If you don't know who the guy is, you should know who he is, especially if you're a business owner or if you like revenue generation for your business, right? And within that operation, within that organization, I was able to learn some of the skill sets that I now apply to today's business that we run and own. Now, sales. How many of us are in sales? How many of us are in sales? Okay, I got it. And how many of us are business owners who oversee a sales team? Okay, so we got a couple. Got it. So this sales thing is everything. And if you don't know how to do it, you don't have a business. If you don't know how to sell, you literally do not have a business. I personally think it is the number one skill set that anybody should have when in a business, because hey, if you're making a lot of money, you can figure everything else out. But if I'm not making money, then I'm not having an impact in the community. I'm not having an impact in the environment. I'm not transacting with anybody. And the whole point of business is to transact. And we transact because we solve problems, right? That is the whole essence of sales. The way I think of sales is effective communication. Now, I'm going to speak to two different groups here. We've got guys in the back who have a business for 10 years, and then we have individuals who are probably getting started tomorrow, right? I'm going to speak to the guys that got teams right now. It is your responsibility to hold your guys accountable and teach them every single day how they should be operating, how they should be representing your product and service, because if you don't, it's your fault if they don't produce, not theirs. And that is something that I saw when working with companies like Google, working with companies like Ashley Furniture, working with companies like Microsoft. There's a reason as to why those companies dominate the marketplace. Yes, they have effective marketing and advertising campaigns. They got a plethora of products, right? We understand that, but they also have a workforce that is so damn dominant. And the reason why they're dominant is because their executives actually take their employees seriously. So for the people that are overseeing a business, you got to understand, man, like you need to be training your people every single day. And if you are not in front of your people every single day, then you don't really care about your business. And I believe that. I've seen that. I was within that. There should be a focus for at least 30 minutes to an hour every single morning on sales. But I'm not talking about actually selling. What I'm talking about is actually developing the skill set to sell. I had an opportunity to play football at Florida State University, played at a very high level, played for Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher, missed the national championship by a year. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, do y'all know how much training we did every single day just to throw a ball and catch a ball and hit somebody, right? That's a game. We're talking about a game called life, right? Imagine the amount of training that is necessary to really get traction at a big executive level, right? There should be handbooks. There should be role plays. You should be listening to your guys' calls. You should have mystery shoppers that are reporting back to you every single week. Don't tell your guys or your gals that are out there in the marketplace. They should be reporting back to you every single week in regards to how good your team is or how good they could be. Like that is so important. That is the number one common denominator to take a business from good to great as it relates to the customer-facing workforce, right? That's for my big guys in the room. So for everybody else who's starting a business, or listen, maybe you're an entrepreneur within the business, because we all know we are our own businesses, right? And it's all about lead flow. I gotta get in front of as many people as possible, right? If you're starting a business, know this: the most important asset you can have is not the product, it's not the service, it's the people you can sell to. And it's not even just the people that you can sell to, but it's how you hold on to those people, right? I would much rather have an email list of 1 million than sell 10,000. I would much rather have an email list of 1 million than to sell 10,000 people. Much rather, because when I can bring people into my ecosystem, when I can bring people into my environment, now I can actually control the process. I can control the cycle. I can get past the meet and greet and the fact finding. I can drip them every single day, right? To the point where, man, I don't gotta sell. All I gotta do is be like McDonald's and take orders. But it takes a lot to get to that point. And for every single individual who's starting a business, know that, man, my most important asset is people. My most important asset is people that I can get in front of. You know, we live by this in my organization. We live by this in the previous organization I was a part of, that the number one thing that should be on your calendar every single day is prospecting. The number one thing. I got to figure out what type of emails I'm sending out, or hey, let's go to the board and figure out what the noon meeting is going to be. Man, that's you don't have time for that in the beginning. You don't have time for that in the business that you're at right now. Like, the number one thing is people. And how do I get in front of people? Y'all, as a CEO of an agency, none of it is glitz and glam. Yesterday, I made 173 outbound cold calls to an email marketing list, campaign, an ebook funnel, right? Individuals inquired about that, and now what we're doing is we're asking for a why. Hey, why'd you download the ebook? Why now? Why today? Why is this on the radar for you? Have you ever considered something like this before? What are you currently doing to address this situation? Like that is the type of outflow that is necessary if y'all really wanna move your business. And this does not come from me. This comes from individuals who have a market cap of $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 billion. This is what they're doing, man. This is what they're doing. And if you really wanna grow this thing, it starts with how many people you can get in front of and growing your audience. Now, as far as the communication aspect, like I said, sales is communication, it's effective communication. And whether you're starting a business or you've had a business for quite some time and you've got a sales force, work on that communication piece every single day. The most powerful question that you can ask is why. Right? The only reason we were taught, the only reason why anybody buys anything is to solve a problem. Right? It could be the suit that I got on right now. It could be the missus in the back, her handbag. It could be the pen and sheet of paper that you're writing down with. It could be your cell phone. Everything is solving a problem. Maybe it's a materialistic problem. Maybe he doesn't need the Bugatti, but he has a Bugatti. It's a materialistic problem. Everything is solving a problem. So the faster we can get to that why, the faster we can start getting into real communication. And only when we get into real communication can there be an even exchange. Can there be an even exchange? You talk and then I talk. One of the most profound things that was taught to me was about sales was this one simple concept. Sales should look like a tennis match. You talk, then the other person talks. Then you receive, and then you hit the ball back, and then they talk. If you find yourself, spitting out the book of John, but before somebody can even breathe and actually respond to the 18 questions you ask them in a row, there's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem. So check yourself the next time you're in an actual sales situation, an actual sales cycle. Developing this skill set every single day. Are you training every single day? Are you training every single day? If you're not training every single day, do you take it, or are you taking it seriously? Training doesn't stop. Training keeps going. Look at Tom Brady. Hey, is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? We don't even know right now. But I do know this much, that guy has been training for the past 30 years of his life to throw a go route. The reason why he's so successful is because he's perfected that skill set. It takes years. It doesn't take 5 years. It doesn't take 10 years. It doesn't take 15 years. It's constantly evolving. So the more we can see that the sales thing is everything, and if you don't have it, you have nothing, and your ability to communicate is directly proportional to what's in your bank account, well then, man, I should probably start taking it a little bit more seriously. And I'm not here to sit on the stage and say that no one is, because I know you are. There's a reason why you're in this room here today. There's a reason why you're connecting with everybody else who's sitting to the left and to the right of you. Everybody's looking to get better, and that's incredible. But man, that better starts internally. That better starts with yourself. That better starts with how you operate and how you move and how you execute and how you communicate and can you fulfill what it is you actually say that you can fulfill. Right? My goal is to be a New York Times bestselling author on the cover of Forbes magazine, worth $12 billion, living in downtown New York, able to provide 10 million foster kids with homes, because, man, I was a systems kid growing up, right? To own an NFL ball team, right? To become a household name. These are my goals. These are my aspirations. And I know that I cannot get there if I don't practice this one thing, and it's sales. Now, I don't know how much time I got, but here we go. The connection between sales and marketing, because listen, we run a marketing and advertising firm, right? We're good at it, damn good at it, but we can always get better. This marketing and advertising is a part of the sales process, right? This marketing and advertising game is part of the sales process, and there's a reason why you have to do it every single day. Even when you think nobody else is looking, do it. I couldn't tell y'all how many times I've gotten on the phone with high-level individuals who have said before they signed on the dotted line, man, I've been checking you out for 8 years. 8 years. Man, I wasn't thinking about him or her 8 years ago, but they were watching. You're making deposits every single day into your brand. You're making deposits every single day into what could come. That's the reason why you do what you do today. I look at this marketing game as the meet and greet and fact finding, right? Sales is a process, y'all. Right? You got your meet and greet, you got your fact finding, you're gonna have objections that you need to overcome, right? Then I gotta set some sort of appointment or demonstration, whether I can do it right there or whether I gotta call somebody and set it up and get all the decision makers and do it in 2 months, right? Then I got my demo, then I got the write-up, then I got the negotiations, then I got the close. That's what it is. In any business, any vertical, any space, it doesn't matter if you're selling pens or you're selling vehicles. Same thing. But if I can shrink the sales process, right? I take away the amount of work or some of the work that I have to do in the beginning. How many people know of McDonald's? By a show of hands. If you don't know McDonald's, man, you're living under a rock, right? How many people know Apple? Everybody knows Apple. Okay, great. How many people know Jennifer Lopez? That's a brand too. That's a business. Listen, I don't have to figure out if McDonald's French fries taste good. Because I've seen them all the time. I see them on commercials. Like, I drive past them every single day. I see the sign there. Like, that fact-finding stage goes away, and it's either you want or you don't want. Do you know how much time that takes out of the entire process? If you could just walk up to people and say, hey, do you want it or do you not want it? Oh, yeah, I've heard all about you guys. Yeah, I saw you all over social media. Yeah, I just saw your commercial and your billboard. Yeah, we'll consider, we'll check you out. That's the game. That's what the marketing thing is. So, marketing is equally as important as sales. But I want you to realize that marketing is a part of sales. And realize that with marketing, third-party validation is the most important type of validation for any business. Third-party validation. Perfect example. If my sister tells me to go see a movie, I'll say, Chris, hey, maybe you'll see it, maybe. Right? If a random person on the side of the road walks up to me and says, hey man, you gotta see that movie, it was crazy, I have no affiliation with them, right? I'm more inclined to see the movie because there is no relationship, there is no connection, but yet this individual that I have no idea expressed their experience. It's the same situation with business, right? Third-party validation, the most important asset. As it relates to marketing and advertising, don't highlight your wins. No one gives a damn about your apartment. I don't. The only thing I give a damn about is what is your business? Who are you working with? How have you changed the quality of life of somebody, right? Are you an authoritative figure, right? When was the last time you did X, Y, and Z? Are you giving back to the community? I don't care about your dog. And neither does a real business owner either. Right? Now, it may be a situation where you can communicate and talk, and it's a way where we can get on level ground, right? But no one cares about that stuff. They care about the product and service and what you do, right? Marketing, it's just everything. Sales is everything. You can't have one. We were taught you can't have one without the other. But if you have one and not the other, you end up with nothing. I know that much, right? Listen, I could talk about this sales game for years, literally years. We could talk about anything and everything as it relates to sales. It's funny, Juan said, hey man, make this talk what it is you want. And him and I were joking back and forth. I was like, buddy, I could talk about this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, right? My intention for today is just to shed some light in regards to the importance of it, that you need it, that both are one and the same, and that, man, every single second of the day, the game is not anything other than effective optimization, obviously in an internal business and entity. You got your people, your operations, your marketing, your finance, the 4 quadrants of business. We understand that from my big guys, right? But even for my big guys, man, the number one thing is being in front of people, right? So I appreciate y'all's time here today, right? If y'all have any questions, concerns, I'll be here. But thanks so much for the opportunity.
You get 5 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Hey, good. Yeah.
All right, so again, open for Q&A. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Mike? Okay, there in the back.
I'm new to opening up a marketing agency in Columbus, Ohio. Just because you obviously, you're number one, the way you present is amazing. But just for a company like me that's getting started, what is like your average day look like, and what's the most important thing when you got started to making your agency successful?
A great question, and congratulations on that endeavor. It's a great one. It's a great one. My average. My day is very serious, very serious. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, to when I go to the gym, to what I put in my body, to what I'm listening to the goals and the targets and the objectives. We're getting all that stuff done before like 6 a.m. I gotta operate like that because I'm hungry. I don't have $100 billion to sit on to where I can sit on my yacht. I will, but not right now, right? But as far as that day is concerned, man, that day is concerned, or that day, My day is specifically, right, to make the lives of the employees as easy as possible, because I believe and I was taught that is literally what a leader does. Also, it's analyzing and understanding what's working and what's not. We have a microscope on every single type of ad that we have out, both within our purchasing population, right, our consumer base, as well as the people who we run ads and marketing and advertising for. It also consists of, on the back end of the day, I'm hopping in on different update and support calls with each and every one of our clients. Some of our bigger clients, right? We meet with them every single 2.5, maybe 3 day span. We have to do that for eBay. We have to do that for Lions Not Sheep. That is a non-negotiable. If there's anything I would say to the marketing and advertising space, obviously you got to be nimble. Everything is constantly changing, but transparency is everything. Transparency is everything as it relates to, man, you got to tell your people what's working and what's not. And you've got to set the table right for the deal. I'm not going to make promises and wishes that I have no control over, right? That's unethical. What I also know is half of the battle is what they do and what I don't do, right? If you're doing a lead generation system and they're telling you the leads don't work and they have a crappy sales team who's not picking up the phone and dialing, right? Well, then you got to realize, man, what's the situation? That's why we adopted a coaching piece on the back end, so I can have some control, because I can control what we do, I control what I do, but I don't have control of what other businesses do, right? Those are some I guess some high level points. The only other thing I would say to that is, your network is everything, right? But it's what man, GC's taught me. GC's taught me so much, man. That's my guy. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So the reason as to why we've been able to get all this traction, y'all, this is under a year. A year and 3 months ago, I was right? But the reason as to why this is because of who knew me and my consistent marketing as it relates to myself. That's why I say that meet and greet and fact finding for marketing is big, right? So that would be the answer to that. Oh no.
So inspiring.
Nah.
So awesome. Yes, it is. I didn't realize it was that short of a time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, again, and having that type of hunger, the passion that we're all talking about, so inspiring. Oh, another question.
What has been your biggest challenge running that agency in a place like Miami?
Yeah. Well, in Miami, yeah. So I'll tell you this much, if I look at every single person who we're working with, I would say that the representation within the Miami market as opposed to the representation with outside of this metropolitan area, it's like 20/80. I love Miami, love living in Miami, love the businesses in Miami. I'm shooting for specific targets or a specific type of business, and I'm shooting for the big dogs, right? I'm going to New York. I'm in Financial District. I'm trying to close, Lacoste. I'm not trying to deal with anything but that level. So for me to actually tell you what it's like working with Miami organizations, just based off what I'm doing right now, I don't have a ton of those individuals. The individuals I do, the South Florida, it's the same thing. I would say this much. Take that out of your head as it relates to everything is going to be different in different markets, right? Approach every single market with the tenacity and the skill set that you provide, right? Provide a solution and solve the solution and problem, and realize that your last name is attached to it. And when you realize that and when you do that, I would say you'll get traction anywhere. Obviously, the Latin-based market's massive here. Make sure you have an individual on the team that can obviously, communicate in Spanish. I'm practicing it too, right?
Send me your Spanish, please.
Hey, dale. No, I could definitely do that, but that's what I would say to that. Go ahead, sir. Yeah.
It seems you have targeted your audience, and you know what client you want.
Mm-hmm.
How soon do you fire your client? There's clients that need to be fired. How soon do you realize that, and how soon do you fire them?
That's funny that you say that, man. So so I saw that when working in the previous organization I was in. You know, we used to cancel contracts with people all the time. It just, listen, if the product doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. If the deal isn't good for both parties, the deal is not good. I ain't wasting my time. And we've canceled deals. We were providing a great service and we canceled them. I will say this much. The only reason as to why we've canceled contracts or we've said, you know what, at this point, it's just not going to be the best. So we'll fulfill what it is we fulfill, but then what we're done is if I can't, if I can't or the team can't get in communication with them, if they don't show up to optimization calls, if they don't show up to transparency calls, if they don't send us the graphics or the documents or the data or anything that allows for us to have an all-out force on their business and on their entity, because lack of communication with the consumer or a customer, it only leads to confusion down the line. And if I have confusion down the line, then it's a problem. Now, of course, I'm not saying I'm just going to back out of every single deal. There needs to be a buildup. But literally, there's one wellness center that comes to mind right now. I'm not going to give the name. Not going to give the name, right? South Florida. I think they're in West Palm. It just wasn't working out. We were working, bro, the leads we were bringing, oh my gosh, nasty. But it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at the time. So that's what I would say in regards to knowing who you work with, and the person has to be good to work with, man, because if they're not, then there's going to be no results. And then you got to deal with all this other, and it's just a mission. It's a mission.
Do you have any tips on how to appeal to your ideal client when it's a business, or how to determine when a business is the ideal client?
Yeah.
Because with individuals, we are trying to get people that we connect to or people that resonate with us. But when it's a business, how do you do that?
Okay,
Like
and
business to business.
B2B, love B2B. We got business consumer and business to business, both divisions in our organization. So let me see if I understand the question. The question is, how do I break into a business if I know that I can provide a solution to something that they have?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, the process is the exact same thing. I mean, you're gonna have to make that cold call. You're gonna have to get past the gatekeeper. You're gonna have to do the due diligence on who makes the actual decisions as relates to what it is.
That person.
Yeah.
I typically can get in front of that person, but once I'm there,
Yeah.
how do I close it?
Yeah. So they know why you're there, correct? They've seen all the data. They know the problem you solve. They like you've already presented everything, and it's just closed.
Yeah, it's a product, and it's
Okay.
these products are presented. It's a good product. It's similar to what's on the market. Pricing is similar. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
So how do I get them to pick me over someone else?
Yeah, so how much of what I said or have you seen justifies making the decision for us? What do you like best about what you've seen so far? Let me ask you that. There's a lot of products, there's a lot of services on the table, and there's a lot of other individuals who are out there that do a very similar thing, right? What are the top 3 things, ma'am, sir, that you look for when choosing to move forward with any entity or any business, right? Because my intention, being in front of you here today, is to fit that mold. And if we can't fit that mold, I promise I'll run out of here because it would be unethical to do business with you. Like they may not necessarily be doing only business because of the product or service. They may be doing business because of some of the things that you can't touch, right? Maybe it's the accountability, or maybe it's the support system, or maybe it's them being able to communicate with somebody. Hell, they could have already tried to do business with somebody that does something exactly what you do. The product and service was identical, but due to the lack that they couldn't get a hold of anybody, they've got a bad taste in their mouth out of anything and everything that's affiliated with that product and service. So at that point, if I gotta set a hook, I gotta figure out not only what are they looking for in the product and service, but what are they looking for in the company? Because you're talking about competition, even though we can't necessarily think about competition. But what I'm saying is, like, how do I differentiate myself from everybody else that's doing the exact same thing? So it's not necessarily what you do, but it's what do they look for? That is found in your demo. So when I get on the phone with somebody or when I get face to face with somebody, I'm already finding out, have you ever done this in the past? If you do this in the past, why did you quit? What were the number one things that you looked for in the past that warranted you to stick with that organization, right? What was one thing you wanted to include? right? Who other than yourself makes the decisions, right? Why would you do this deal today? Why not 6 weeks from now? Why not 6 months from now? Like, why today is this on the radar? If you don't do this deal today, what are you gonna do? Like, I gotta check the urgency. I gotta check I'm talking to the right people. I gotta get to the whys. I gotta set the table. If I set the table properly, then it just goes into, negotiations and the close. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I got you.
Mike, share.
Thank you.
I
Hey,
just want
thank
you
you.
to keep
No,
going.
it's
To the
okay.
end of the
It's okay.
hour.
It's okay. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
That was awesome.
Yes,
There was
sir.
so much knowledge.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.